Better late than never. This is Our Android Week with Alan Furstenberg in New York, Bruce Turner in Lynchburg, Virginia, Duke Carrico in Kingsport, Tennessee, Cadeas Kalut in Newport Beach, California, in Menifee, California, Pam Adger. This is Our Android Week. Good to have you with us. I'm fresh back from the Front Royal Town Council meeting. All the DC TV stations were there, and they voted to repeal the Magic Arts ban. And you can read all about it on my feed. Okay, so our first story is about a watch, rumored watch from LG, and it looks nice. And I guess there was a Best Buy leak that the other one, which I guess is imminent because it was a leak from a web page.
Dan, right? I love it. You have been talking about this other one for what, 3 months now? 4 months now? And suddenly it's relegated to the trash heap.
Why did I say that?
And it isn't even out yet. I think that's great.
Why did I say that? How did I say that?
That other one. You don't even mention it by brand.
The Moto 360, I think it's $250, right? According to the page that was leaked.
Yeah, that's a rumor.
So this one's pretty nice looking too. Oops. This is a watch with a circular face. And I guess they don't have they just teased it here with this video. It's a really nice video. What do you think,
Nice
Alan?
video. It's a red line and a bouncing ball.
Pretty badass.
Okay, so it's a badass red line and bouncing ball. Makes a nice dig at the Moto, though.
You still getting the Moto, Alan? Are you gonna switch to this LG one?
They're sending me a Moto.
Right, but I mean, is that the one you're gonna choose to use?
I don't know. I haven't seen anything about this one. I haven't seen anything about the Moto.
That's true. Both.
Everyone's jumping ship without knowing what the fuck they're talking about.
I'm sticking with the Moto. I'm not jumping ship.
I'm definitely, well, I'll see, if this is, how much was the LGG? Or is it?
220.
This could be the same thing, so it'll be a price war. Moto's always made good hardware. I got my Motorola Photon. It's built like a rock. It's a hell of a lot better build than my Samsung. So we'll see. But I like many options. So there. Okay. Moving right along. The state of Android updates, who's fast, who's slow, and why. And I don't think this was good for Samsung.
Why do you think this is good for Samsung?
Well, maybe I'm wrong. Let me look. What do you guys think? This is...
I think this definitely speaks true as to why I hold on to the Nexus, only because it appears that, at least with this chart that they've made, it looks a little outdated. The Nexus still tends to get the updates faster than everything, and that's really why. But I could probably settle for the Moto X. Or even the HTC One at 1 month. So,
is Motorola gonna is their advantage along these lines gonna diminish now that they're not part of Google anymore?
we don't know. We'll see.
Well, here's the thing. Officially, everybody gets the ASOP updates at the same time. So it really boils down to how much they care. So it's not whether Motorola is going to care whether, they're part of Google or not. It's going to be whether they care being part of Lenovo or not.
Yeah, did that deal finally go through, or is it still on its last legs?
I don't know.
Because I haven't heard anything official on the Lenovo purchase yet.
I can't see any objection
this
to it.
article even says it's a pending sale. So it's still owned by Google technically.
The carriers, well, first, Google releases it, then the phone manufacturer, they release Android, then the phone manufacturer has to finalize a port, for their device, and then the carriers
Screw it up is the term you're looking for, Dan.
exactly.
Right. Depends on how many
Enhance
changes
it.
they make to it.
They have to enhance it, and then Sprint and the other carriers add a value-added package around it. It's not bloatware; it's a value. It's enhancements. So, really, the carriers don't have much of an incentive to do this, right? The more ghetto your phone is, the more likely you're going to buy a new one.
Either the phone manufacturers.
Yeah, I mean, I've already got your money, you know.
Neither does Google. I mean, Google's been pretty good about screwing up, but, hey, they don't care.
And if you went to your average person walking into a Verizon store, AT, whatever, and said, which of these phones do you think is going to get the new version quicker? None of them would have a clue. So it's not impacting in a negative way the manufacturers or the carriers, really. I mean, how many? I wasn't even sure what the results were until I looked. I was clueless. We were all clueless till we saw it. We know the Nexus devices are faster, but I don't think that's entering people's mind. Ooh, this one's pretty, or this one's cheap, or whatever. I can download apps to it. Okay, so speaking of that, our next topic here is this chart. This is surprising, but not really. U.S. This is from Quartz, wonderful site. Most people download a total of 0 apps a month on average. And then that's 66%. 8% download 1, 9% download 2, 6% 3, and down and down and down. Only 2%.
Why do you say that's surprising, though?
Well, if you think about it, it's kind of related to why the tablet boom is dwindling or not growing as fast or whatever, because everyone has a tablet. I mean, yeah, I can get a new tablet. It'll be a little faster, maybe a higher resolution. But, for what I do on it, Flipboard, Twitter, Netflix.
So far you've named 3 apps that you have to download.
Yeah, but once you have them,
Yeah, but that, so average that in over the entire life of your phone. That means that on average, you download fewer than 24 apps.
I probably have about 25 on my phone.
I think even more telling is this means that most people download Candy Crush and no other games.
I think it tells us that discovery in the App Store and in the Play Store is not what it should be.
No, not necessarily.
I think you just made a wild leap to conclusions there.
Right, because discovery is based on if you're actually looking. So, if you never hit the App Store button, then how would you discover anything?
The way I found some really cool apps is I see these posts from various Android or TechCrunch or whatever. I see them on Flipboard, and it says, 10 really cool new apps. And then I discover them there. I didn't discover them in the Play Store. If I look around the Play Store, it just shows me the basic crap that I already have, like Flipboard.
So then why do you hold the Play Store saying that it's based on discovery?
I'm saying if there's really cool shit out there, why don't they help me find it?
There isn't really cool shit out there!
Well, there's that new Glass app. That's pretty badass. That Alan Furstenberg wrote.
Dan, let me ask you something. We used to have a segment on this show called Our App of the Week. Why did we stop running it?
Because you guys stopped getting an app.
You guys. I distinctly remember that for the past several ones, you would be doing apps of the week that you hadn't loaded on your phone. And in fact, that you hadn't even run yet.
Are you suggesting I was phoning it in?
Thank you. He'll be here all week, folks. The rest of us won't, fortunately.
Anyway, best.
No, I think, it boils down to most people are satisfied with the apps that they have. Occasionally, they will hear about other apps from friends or via any one of a number of other means, but for the most part, they're not looking for them. They don't care.
They have what they need.
They have this whole BS about how many apps are in your app store. That's bogus. Nobody cares.
It's like saying your car can do 120 miles an
Nobody
hour.
cares.
Okay. So you think Discovery's fine?
No, I think Discovery sucks.
You just were trolling me then.
No, I don't think that's the problem.
The problem is everybody has what they need. How many times are you going to download a banking app? How many times do you go open a bank account at a different bank? So how many times are you going to download this app?
How can you tell what the latest app you downloaded is on your
You
device?
can look in the Play Store on the web.
Okay.
Actually, does that give you a chronological list of downloading them though, Cadeas?
Last time I was there, it did. Let me see.
That was so 3 hours ago.
Let's see.
See, because you can't use the app that's on the phone because that will give it to you in terms of last update.
Right. Okay, so yeah, it's in order based upon your purchases. However, it mixes in with your music purchases and your TV show purchases and your movie purchases.
Well, okay, so that's not a problem considering most people don't do movie, TV, or music purchases through the Play Store.
Okay, well then I guess I'm just an exception. So the last app that I
I said
purchased,
most. I didn't say all. I said most.
the last app that I purchased was TimeTime USA for Android for $39 on June 18th.
What does it do?
The reason why I
Where's the
downloaded it
TimeTime?
is
What do you
because
think
I
it
wanted
does?
to try some another language, putting my GPS in another language, something that Google Maps can't do. And
$40?
Android couldn't. I shouldn't say Android, but TimeTime, the app wasn't programmed very well to do a different language fast enough without freezing the phone. So ended up having to get a
$40?
refund. $38.
Good God, does it perform an unnatural act?
What is an unnatural act, Dan?
I guess you don't know. How do I sort it by...
This goes into whatever he was.
how do I sort it? I'm looking at all my apps here. How do I
You
sort it?
shouldn't have to sort it. It should just automatically be in that order. Soon as you click on my orders, it's in order as you purchased it.
Oh, my orders.
This
Not my
is-
apps.
This could not be more ghetto.
Go to the gear in the corner, in the upper right-hand corner, Dan,
Oh,
and then go to my orders. And it's dated. Everything's dated. And it's in order by date.
so free apps, it doesn't count.
Oh, that's a good point. Let me see. I don't know. I pay for apps if they need to be paid. Yeah, you know that. Oh no, free apps are here. Yeah, free apps are here too. The last time I downloaded a free app was September 12th of last year. So
I only show paid ones.
Yeah, this is only showing paid ones for me.
interesting.
I'm calling 1-800-GOOGLE as soon as we're done here. All right, so obviously
The bottom line is once you get the apps you need, you don't need to go hunting for apps. Apps is not like food, so you don't go and what should I try this week?
yeah, okay.
So this makes sense.
All right. Okay, next up, and I don't understand. I didn't thoroughly read all of this one. Google's voice search app will now understand 5 languages at once.
Yeah, so basically what happens here is right now if you pick up your phone and you want to speak to it in Spanish, you'd have to go deep in the settings and switch it over to Spanish. Whereas now you can set up to 5 languages for it to be listening for, and then whatever language you bust out speaking in, Google now knows what language that is right off the bat, as long as it's one of the 5 that you selected.
And as long as you stick to one language per query.
Right. So for people who speak multiple languages or have friends all over the world, that's a good thing.
Oh, so ordinarily in the past you would have had to say, I'm Spanish or I'm whatever.
You have to dig deep in the settings and then choose, I want to speak Japanese, and then speak Japanese. And then when you wanted to hop from Line, which is a Japanese app, and you want to go to Hangouts, then you would have to go deep in the settings and switch it back to English in order to do a voice English Hangout.
Okay. Siri's a male voice overseas, isn't it?
Depends on the country.
Okay. So that's exciting news. All right, next is
It is exciting news.
Okay, I'm
For people who
sorry.
speak multiple languages.
I wasn't giving it its due. Go ahead, Alan.
Well, that's because you're an American.
Who's lived in 20 countries since I was in
And how many
And
other
you didn't
languages?
find it exciting for somebody who lived in 20 countries.
I can count. I know all the cuss words and I can count. And the twakat senksi. That's
Oh, boy.
En dio tria tesser pen de keks tapto ne and the gadoda the tria the tesser.
Oh boy.
And I know the insult in Greece is malaka.
So now you're going to insult our Greek viewers.
Well, it's normally used as a term of endearment, like a friendly troll. Okay. So, I couldn't be more excited about this multilingual now. Next is
It's more.
what? Go ahead, Alan. You're not saying anything. I was going to move, but if you want to,
Nothing. Move.
We can talk at length.
Nothing. Just because you don't know the difference between search and now, that's fine. Next.
The fuck. Android fragmentation up with 18,796 different devices. Good God. Is that everything? Like if a fridge has Android, but it's not like what we think, it's not Android, it's Android. It's not in terms of this is Android, which is what I think and the typical consumer thinks. That's a lot of what the
There's two great things to note from this. For starters, this is from a magazine known as PC Mag. So this is essentially the pot calling the kettle black.
PC Magazine?
Yeah,
That's where I first discovered Dvorak.
you're really not. Anyway, but this is a magazine that's dedicated its life to coverage of things that spawned from the original IBM PC, which is where the term fragmentation originated from. Remember, we had, we didn't have, we had clones. We had PC clones that almost, but not quite, ran the exact same way as a PC. That had an operating system that was almost, but not quite the same. An operating system, not just a UI, a freaking operating system. So you couldn't even guarantee from one system to the next that had the exact same version number what they had. So PC World saying anything about fragmentation is just rude as hell. That's one. Two, this isn't even fragmentation. Oh my freaking God. Fragmentation is the fact that you've got a bunch of different versions of Android. You've got a bunch of different layers on top of those versions. What they're reporting are the total number of manufacturers of things that run Android. So what? That's not fragmentation. That's a good thing. Here's the thing. When we talk about apps, we talk about how many different apps there are from how many different from how many different software authors. Why is it that when we talk about things that can run those apps, the fewer is better? This makes no sense. None whatsoever. This is a BS article. What do you think, Kadeus?
I was actually wondering the same thing, but I didn't get to fully read it, and I was thinking that doesn't make sense. Android can't be fragmented 19,000 times. That doesn't make
It's the
logical
third
sense.
sentence. Some 18,796 distinct Android devices have downloaded the OpenSignal app this year, compared to 11,868 last year.
Disappointment on PC Magazine's part.
What, just because they're a bunch of idiots?
Yep. Just a disappointment. I used to look at them as a reputable source back in the day.
Everyone has one mistake every now and then. I've had doozies. Good Lord.
One of the things they do say, fragmentation isn't all bad. The availability of cheap Android phones, rarely running the most recent version, listen to this, means they have much greater global reach than iOS. In other words, iOS is an American phenomenon that nobody else in the world cares about.
Which is also not true.
Yeah, but I can lie just as well as they can.
So, Dan.
I mean, really, would we trust an operating system that only runs on one kind of computer? Would we? We call that a monoculture.
Yeah.
At least that's what we called it 4 years ago. The world was afraid of monocultures. Ooh.
I hope that we don't get into that in Front Royal. We've had enough controversy.
So, high levels of bogusness here.
What do you think, Dan?
I swear to God, I'm not even paying attention. I'm tweeting WHAG, the hot chick I met tonight. She followed me.
Oh, God.
That's her. How do I do it here? That's her doing an interview for WHAG. All the TV stations were there. They were trying to ban witches and gypsies. I swear to God, there was a pagan priest there saying, "Who am I hurting? I've had a Christian child in my home before. I put her through school." I was just like, this is 2014, man. This can't be happening. I wouldn't know a gypsy if they bit me in the ass. Anyway, that's not entirely related to Android. I don't know if gypsies are mainly Android or iOS. So I'm tweeting Maris Badcock, that's her name, working hard at Hogwarts tonight. Little joke there. Obviously, the humor's lost on our panel. Okay, next up, I wholeheartedly agree with Alan and Cadeas on the previous story. I just want to go on out on the limb there.
He just wants to go on the record that despite having no idea what we just talked about, we're right. And because he knows we're right, he's not going to disagree with that.
I'm not
Speaking
afraid
of
to
us
take
being
that
right,
stand.
Cadeas, have we gotten any audience comments at all? Is anybody awake?
Not even on Twitter, which is quite shocking.
Next story.
Next story is
We have two shows every week.
Amazon.
One of them is at least officially Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, called Our Android Week, where we pretend we know anything about Android. On Friday nights, we pretend for almost 4 times as long, where at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, we have Google Plus Week, where we talk about Google Plus, Google Plus, technology, and other random stuff that comes to Dan's mind. That is the longest running show on Google Plus. That's Fridays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. And wow, do we have a story coming up this Friday? What is it, Cadeas?
Looks like Amazon is now making a play to buy Twitch for $960 million. So they're now trying to battle Google, sounds like.
Is it actually a play for Twitch? I mean,
They announced it.
Last we heard YouTube officially has all but bought Twitch.
That's what I thought too.
Now Amazon officially has all but bought Twitch, or they actually signed, or
Here's
is
the deal.
anybody
The
saying
CEO of Twitch announced it today. I saw an article in Forbes that I linked to here that Google was interested, but there would be obvious antitrust concerns, especially in Europe, if the number one generalized video streaming company bought the number one game streaming company, live streaming, right? So the EU would just go insane, I'm thinking.
The EU goes insane whenever Larry Page sneezes. Let's
Yeah,
new
so,
here. Anyway, we'll be covering it Friday night.
We will, and Twitch TV, for folks who don't know, it's a game streaming platform. It was a part of Justin TV, and then they just recently shuttered Justin TV without warning and said, your videos are gone, you have no account, thank you, it's been a great ride, I guess, in preparation for this. And so now Amazon, and remember the stories about Amazon getting big into game development, and I posted today, if you go to games.amazon.com/jobs, there are a ton of jobs at all levels, from senior management down, for various types of game development people. So it's interesting that they're doing a big push into games, Alan, and then they're buying this. Are they going to try to do their own proprietary thing where you play an Amazon game and there's, and they're integrating this as genius.
I don't know. Would Amazon do something proprietary?
You think when the pizza place bought the donut shop, they might want to incorporate donuts.
I don't know. Amazon. Gee.
Speaking of donuts, there were 5 police officers in the meeting tonight. Burger King has a deal with the donut guy, and they think they're going to come out with a donut burger. Can you imagine? Okay. So, that'll all come up Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific on Google Plus Week.
We'll be talking about donuts Friday?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
That's our other program, Google Plus Week. This program is ordinarily at 9 p.m. Eastern Mondays, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific p.m. on Monday. So we thank you for watching. Thank you for any comments you may put on in the future this week. We'll be looking at them. Not even some good zingers from Cy. Kind of a letdown. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a wonderful Android week.